Hey everyone, round
Hey guys.
two.
Yeah, uh, for those of you who are catching us on YouTube, just before this, we had I don't know, we just did some troubleshooting, and now we're here for real this time.
Yes, and we're ready to show off the Ruffian, the Black Specialization from Crossroads. They are so fun. I'm so excited to show them off. Yeah. So the Ruffians, let's just dive right into it. The Ruffians are kind of brutish. They like to get as close and personal as possible and break your ribs, break your knees, break your face, fight
Yeah,
over.
this is just like this is a leveled up brigand, and
Yeah.
they like to use their fists, and they're very good at it. One of the things I like to start with is kind of taking a quick look at that miniature and the health
Oh, yeah,
tracker. What do
sure.
we got for us?
Oh, yeah, let me turn off the UI there. So remember that Tabletop Simulator cannot support high fidelity miniatures, so this has lost a lot of its pixels, but this is the abstract idea of what the Ruffian miniature looks like.
Yeah, that is very true. These getting stuff on Tabletop Simulator is kind of scuffed.
It is kind of scuffed. And this is the Ruffian Health Tracker. We haven't really done this with the other ones, but if you didn't know, the flip side of the health trackers have a little thing on them, so it's actually very topically on the flip side of the Ruffian's Health Tracker, round two, like this stream. So there you go.
But yeah, Ruffians have more than 40 hit points. They got 41,
They have
which
41.
is pretty nice. It means well, every little bit of extra hit points does go a decent way of just kind of changing how matches line up.
Yeah,
Because conventionally, if you've got, fighting somebody with 40 HP, you want to do 19 damage to them to get them to 21, so then you can attack them and put their second wind back as far as possible.
sure.
Ruffian changes that math a little bit.
Just a little. Yeah, we
Just a
wanted them to
skosh.
feel just a bit stronger than your average hero
Hmm.
or what have you, villain, whatever you consider yourself.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, what are the like mechanics of the ruffian? They have combo, which we saw with brigand. So as a refresher, or if this is the first of the videos you're watching, combo is a bonus effect on cards that only occurs if the last card you successfully played this turn was an attack.
Yeah.
So you have to attack and then play another card with combo to get the bonus combo effect. Ruffians are all about that.
I mean,
Um,
they're kind of full in on combo,
they're
right?
all in, yeah, they're all in on
Yeah.
combo. That's like their whole thing. And
I
that
don't
actually leads us
think
into
they
their,
have poison, right?
they don't have any poison
Yeah.
in their specialization. No poison in the
Yeah.
Ruffian specialization whatsoever. So if
Don't
you,
worry. If you're looking for that, you just hang on tight. You'll be seeing plenty of that with Baron.
oh yeah, Baron, Baron is the flip side of Brigand. They're all in on poison, but Ruffian, we intentionally made it so Ruffian didn't have any poison because we wanted, if you wanted to play a Ruffian that focuses way more on like the brute brigand side of things, you can pretend a poison doesn't exist, or you can put in some incidental poison if you want.
You definitely
Uh,
should.
yes, but incidental poison is very good. Um, but yeah, so like we were saying, they're all in on combo. So let's take a look at their ultimate because it really supports that. Aaron, do you want to talk about Fight Dirty?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Fight Dirty is the next in a line of attack ultimates. So, like the stewards before them, these and huntsmen, Ruffian has an attack as their ultimate. That means they can play this card once per turn, um, as kind of a nice way of generating some card advantage. One of the
Mm-hmm.
crazy things about Ruffian, though, is their attack they play once a turn doesn't cost very much. In fact, it is the cheapest cost in the game, a single power.
Yeah.
And that single power is packing quite a bit. It's 2 damage and a stun, which is a huge resource swing.
Oh, absolutely. So I recognize we don't have stun reminder text here. So
Yeah,
if you need a refresher on stun, when you stun an opponent, they lose either an action or a power, their choice. That's really good because this is a card that you get to play every turn, and you're trading one of your resources for one of theirs, and you're dealing 2 damage to them, and you're turning on combo. That's the big thing
absolutely.
here. The
Yeah,
biggest downside of Fight Dirty is that it's range 1. So you're going to notice with Ruffian that if if they manage to get up in your face, if you can get into your opponent's face as a Ruffian and stay there for the rest of the game, you're probably going to win because they are just so good at range 1. They just demolish people at range 1. However, that's also their biggest weakness. If you can
yes.
get away from the Ruffian, if you can slow them down, if you can knock them back, if you can make the tiles around them really difficult to be in with attach cards, that's how you beat a Ruffian.
Absolutely. You need to keep your distance from them because they are going to win toe to toe with you. So yeah, one of the things that Aislyn mentioned is Fight Dirty is an attack, which means for a single power you can turn on combo. Um, Ruffian actually has a couple of really neat, cheap ways to get to turn on combo that aren't available in just regular Brigand. I think we got a couple of those at the very front. Let's take a
We
look at.
do. Yeah, so they're not just limited to Fight Dirty as a way for them to initiate combo. Because, Fight Dirty is, it costs a power, right? So sometimes you need to generate some power to start your combo, and we have that with Blackjack.
So I
So,
don't know if you can see in the you can't quite maybe make it out, but this woman with the blackjack has got some crazy murder eyes.
she does have some crazy murder eyes, yes.
So
Absolutely.
tell me about blackjack, Aislinn.
Yeah, so this is barely an attack, but as long as you deal 1 damage to an opponent, a target opponent, you're an attack card. So Blackjack has the glorious definition of being an attack for the purposes of combo. And beyond that, you silence one and disarm one them for -1/+2. So this is a very small effect, but Ruffian is kind of the best at these small effects that just stack up, build up, and just brutalize your opponent with all these things adding up over time. And heaven forbid you get 2 blackjacks on them because a silence and a disarm is probably the 2 most universally powerful control tokens to apply to someone at the same time. So
Interestingly, I think that Ruffian almost would rather have this do one slow. Kind of like there's a Curse Blade card that does that, so that's
oh
a
yeah,
-1/+2 range one. Um, But yeah, no, one of the things we wanted Ruffian to do is to do a huge control pressure game plan, but they're a little lighter on slow so that their opponents can, try to get away, because that's really how we want people to interact with Ruffian.
right. And they're not just limited to blackjack either. They have another way to really get in there and initiate their combo with Bum
Hmm.
Rush. So this is a -1/+1 rangeless travel card. So you have to travel towards another character. So this is going to evoke maybe similarities to like to battle in Errant. However, if you're near them at the end of the travel effect, you deal 3 damage to them, which makes this considered an attack card. Which means that if you bum rush someone and then you're capable of playing a card with combo against them, it has combo, which is wonderful. We usually don't see. In fact, I think this might be the first um,
Attack that charges,
attack that like charges and deals damage simultaneously. Maybe besides like Thorn Path, but it's kind of different.
I believe it
Um,
is.
yeah. Um, this is just a great way to get in their face as well. And you can fight dirty off of this if you need to stun them. There's just like so many ways you can weave together your attacks as a ruffian, and this is just another great way to initiate that sequence.
Absolutely.
Also, the art is ridiculous. There's like a rooster in the back. This guy, this guy's just charging through everyone, no consideration whatsoever.
What was it, Walter? Was that the name of
Well,
the
yeah, Walter is our
Yeah, he's
prize
just slamming through Walter. He's
prize
got
rooster.
he's got places to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Yeah, Bum
Walter
Rush
will
and
remember this.
Blackjack are both incredible opener options for Ruffian. One of the things you'll really get when you sit down to play Ruffian is you'll get that sense of momentum. They are here to go.
Yeah,
They don't have any breaks. They're just pushing as much as they can, and
for
wow, do they
sure.
feel it.
Oh yeah, Ruffian is a great skeleton for like a tempo deck.
Yeah.
It's a great skeleton for an aggro deck.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm really excited for them because they feel pretty similar to Steward. They both have stunning ultimate attacks. They're both range 1, but Ruffian just has a lot more. They're just a lot more up tempo than Steward, and I think that's super cool.
Definitely. So we have, Fight Dirty, we have Blackjack, we have Bum Rush, and then of course there's tons of cards and classes that can initiate your combo, can get you started. But how can we benefit from it? Well, of course, Ruffian has ways to benefit from it that are just more attacks, because why wouldn't you just keep attacking? They also have some other ways that are non attacks, but let's take a look at the first combo with attack in Ruffian, which is Jawbreaker. So this is a wonderful, wonderful card that just absolutely blasts someone if you can get it off. Slow 2 and Disarm 2 is a pretty brutal amount of control. And then on top of that, if you have combo, you get to additionally deal 5 damage to them. And this is considered an attack, so you can continue your combo with this card, which is pretty great.
Absolutely. It is considered an attack even if you don't play it with combo to start.
Yep, because it
Yeah.
has a damage effect on it, so it's just
hmm
simply an attack card.
Well,
It
it
has a
doesn't matter.
damage effect that specifically deals damage to a targeted enemy,
There you
which
go.
makes it
Yeah,
an
yeah.
attack card.
But yeah, Jawbreaker flows perfectly after Blackjack. And if you do it after Blackjack, that's what? 3 disarm, 2 slow, 1 silence. That's a
Yes.
that's gonna be basically your opponent's next turn if they
Oh yeah.
don't have anything to do.
It's brutal,
Uh,
absolutely brutal. And control tokens, which we're seeing quite a few of here already, combined with stun from Fight Dirty, the ultimate, just makes their resource economy game even more challenging because you're not just applying control that's they're going to have to wiggle their way out of, but you're stunning their resources away, which is going to make their strategy for removing control even harder.
yes,
Um, so Ruffian truly is the bad manners BM destroyer specialization.
100%. One of my other things I love about Jawbreaker is just that art. Like, I know she's punching a Fletcher, but at first glance, every time I look at it, I think, oh, she's just punching a leprechaun. Like, oh, I adore that art.
First, that's definitely a dude. And second, leprechaun? I guess. I mean, compared to him, he kind of looks like a leprechaun. Anyways,
That's, huh,
see, that's a guy. That's
I
totally a guy.
guess. Oh, okay, okay.
Chat, that's a guy.
No, nah.
It's a guy.
No, that's Dina from the story.
Oh, Dinah the Grim. Yeah. This is Dinah the Grim. She's like, I'm here to bash these people's faces in.
I
Anyways,
just figured they're the same character.
yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, so there are some combo cards in Ruffian that are not attacks. One of them is incredibly good. You'll run this in many, many Ruffian decks because it's just so wonderful. This is Knuckle Dust. So this has a very interesting and basic effect overall, but all of the moving pieces of this card combine to make a really powerful effect. So it's
Yeah.
a -2/+2. Those are fine. That's a fine cost. We'll see what it does. So you either draw 2 cards or regain one of the actions you spent to play Knuckle Dust. So this is either a -1/+2 or it's a -2/+2 draw 2 cards. Okay, at that point it's pretty good. You have 2 fairly reasonable options. However, if you have combo, you get to do both of them. You get to draw two
Yeah.
cards and regain one of the actions. -1/+2 draw 2 cards. That is really, really, really good. Um,
I
and
think
it's
that one of
even good if you don't have combo. That's how good this card is.
Yeah, I think that Knuckle Dust since it costs two actions, by default, Ruffian is pretty much going to need to be, up in their opponent's face to take advantage of this at the start of their turn, because it also is going to cost them resources to move up, and it costs two actions to play Knuckle Dust. Kind of hard to get the combo benefit if you don't start next to them. Or you can pair Ruffian with a range 3 class like Wizard or Yeoman, and then you can just say, you know what, I don't need range 1 stuff outside of my ultimate. I'm just going to run stuff like Knuckle Dust and get cheap combo and play these rangeless combo effects from it.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah,
Also,
this
one of
card
the
really
really cool
enables some
things
long range stuff.
about Knuckle Dust is that it's a it effectively is a -1/+2 if you choose to gain an action, but for purposes of removing control by paying resources, it costs two actions to play. So it actually gets rid of more control. So this is also a great answer to slow or disarm. Just playing this to gain an action. That's just by playing Knuckle Dust, you could get rid of what, 5 control?
Yeah, theoretically,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, if you had 5 slow on you and you played Knuckle Dust to gain an action, you can then spend the 2 power and the action you got from that just to get rid of the rest of the slow.
Yep. Cool. So, Knuckle Dust is an excellent non-attack option, but you know what ruffians should do more of, Aaron?
Hmm.
Punch people in the face. That's what
Yeah,
I
we had
always
we had
say.
fun looking at non-attacks. Let's take a look at attacks now.
Okay, so, your opponent's almost done for. How do you finish them off? It's with Lights Out. This card is a -2, -3, which is a huge cost, so it needs to be really good. Well, it deals 12 damage, which is already a pretty good start. It has combo stun them, then stun them again, then stun them again. So, oftentimes we say attacks need to do more than just deal damage, and this card delivers. This is going to really, really mess them up, especially if you're combining this with control. You're probably removing nearly the rest of their resources. And at that point, they are probably going to have very few resources to deal with whatever control you have waiting for them on their next turn. So really, this, like Carl said, nighty night. Next turn, you're not doing anything, kid.
Yeah, the flavor text has been put in the first thoughts that came to mind, and there are a lot of memes in the flavor text at Crossroads. Um, yeah, so Ruffian's whole thing is control you down and then stun away your resources so that you just have to burn actions to get rid of that control. And it can be pretty devastating.
Yep.
And Lights Out is no exception. When you're fighting a Ruffian, you're terrified of this card and you have to plan for it. And oftentimes the right move is just to spend your resources to remove control on you
Yep.
instead of just saving, just so that you don't have
Yeah, because
resources to lose to stun.
ruffians are just so threatening with their stun that it can be really challenging to even save resources against them, which is pretty brutal. I've found that Lights Out is just absolutely terrifying when you got controlled significantly last turn and then you like stumbled away from them, like, oh my god, I have to get away from this ruffian. And then on the ruffian's next turn, they're like, sure. And then they bum rush you, Lights Out. It just utterly destroys people. It's great. It kind of reminds me
Aislyn,
of like Vi from League of Legends, if you've ever played that.
Aislyn, on that note, there is another card that I think I'm actually afraid of more that I'd love to show off.
Oh, yeah?
And it's probably the best reason to get away from a Ruffian. I think
Okay,
you know
it's
what
the
it
next
is?
card then, right? It's this one.
Perfect. I'm pretty sure it is.
It's Right Bastard.
Oh, it actually isn't that. But
Oh!
Right Bastard is also a great
I think I
example.
know what you're talking about then if it's not Right Bastard.
We'll take a look at that after, but let's take a look at Right Bastard
Are you
first.
talking about Tussle?
Yeah, but
Okay.
let's take a look at Right Bastard. Yeah.
Alright. Right Bastard. I love the art on this for one. These two
Oh
people
yeah.
are like, what is this guy doing? And he's looking directly at the camera, and there's someone in the foreground that has their hand getting stabbed by a dagger. This guy
Yeah.
is a right bastard. So what does Right Bastard do, Aaron?
So it's kind of similar to a card called Savagery and Huntsman. Basically, what this Right Bastard is saying is, first off, every time you stun an opponent, you gotta do some slow on them, which is really good if you want to keep them next to you. And as a reward, if they're next to you at the start of your turn, you gain a power. So this is kind of like Huntsman's Savagery, which allows them to play a 4 damage attack for free if you're next to somebody at the start of your turn. Instead of doing that, though, Right Bastard is just giving you some passive resource advantage with power. Um, and it's also giving you some additional control, which is huge. Also, Right Bastard just is turning your rough up into a 0-1 stun and slow somebody, which is probably one of the best engaging tools that we've made in this game.
You mean your Fight Dirty?
Did I say what do they call rough up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean fight dirty.
It turns Fight
Um,
Dirty into a 0-0, kind of, if you were next to them.
if you gain if they're at the start of your turn,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. In the
if they're
best
still
case
there,
scenario, Fight Dirty is a 0-0, stun, deal 2, slow 1,
right?
which
But
is just incredible.
if your opponent plays Right Bastard on turn one, you know first off you got to destroy that. But if you don't, a lot of your instants are going to be turned off, which is
Yeah,
going to be a huge problem because they are going to bury you.
absolutely. But there's
Yes.
another card that is also terrifying to deal
So
with.
this is the card that I am most scared of when fighting Ruffian, and that's because it is the newest member of the Heroic Instant Club, which is always something to take
Very
note
prestigious
of.
club.
Absolutely. There is not a single heroic instant that I look at and don't curse under my breath. Maybe not challenge, because challenge
So,
is perfect. But
we
let's
don't
take
have
a look at
art,
this.
so, you know, we'll
Bear
get
with
it
us.
soon. Okay, so this is a 0-2 range 1 instant, which is a big downside. So there's ways to counterplay around Tussle, but because Ruffian is so good at controlling you, sometimes it's hard to get away from them. So this is one of the most universally useful range 1 instant cards I think we've found because of that. And like Aaron said,
Absolutely.
it's heroic, which also makes it very, very hard to stop if they are within range 1 of you.
So I'm going to paint you a word picture, chat. So you're sitting here, you are fighting a ruffian, and they just hit you for too slow. You got too slow on you, and you want to get away from them. You can't play that card with any degree of safety to get rid of the slow because they might just have a tussle and stop you from getting that power you were going to get from your card you're removing the slow with. You kind of have to just burn resources and run away or risk the tussle. And here's the secret. They always have the tussle. This card always is in Aislyn's hand. I think she put 7 in her decks, but this card ruins. This card can single-handedly end the game.
Yeah,
Um,
a well-timed tussle can be just so utterly brutal. I mean, because the thing
it
about Ruffian is they just put you in vulnerable positions. That's like their whole game plan. And so then once they can get a tussle out, like those 3 resources become so precious to you because you're losing them constantly that when that happens, it's just game over.
yeah. This card you should
Uh,
run. It's incredible.
we only have 3 more Ruffian cards. Do we just show them all?
Um,
I actually kind of just want to because
you
I
know
just
what?
love Ruffian.
Sure, go for it. I am
Okay.
getting a call. 1 second.
Okay, I'm just going to continue for the sake of time then. All right. What's next? Headbutt. Yes. So this is a pretty basic card destruction card, but it just, you know, doubles down on Ruffian's game plan of controlling. So it's a range 1 card destruction, which is pretty bad compared to some other card destruction. You know, that's intentional because Ruffian is so good at range 1 that we wanted them to not be uh, particularly effective at longer ranges, which is why their card destruction is only range 1 as well. Um, but you know, you can also silence 2 someone with it, which can just keep building on the mountain of control that they have.
Oh yeah, Headbutt is a good card still. Let's not pretend like this card isn't pretty solid. Minus
For
one plus
sure.
one silence too. Sure, I'll play that in some circumstances.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
This should
absolutely.
be affected by disarm though. We need to
Yes,
fix
it
that.
should. Good points. I'll make a note of that. We often find that in our testing that cards have the incorrect control symbols. Okay, next one. Oops. Loose coins. This card is very flavorful. It's I guess kind of my pet card in Ruffian. So you can only play loose coins immediately after successfully attacking an enemy. Um, so it basically has combo. And then you attach within 2 tiles of them. And then after you enter loose coins, you gain an initiative and return it to your hand. So this is an interesting card because you can play it nearby and kind of cut off one of their avenues of escape, or you can put it next to you and then just move into it to gain an initiative. And it also pairs very well with a longer range ruffian, which is interesting because you can like put it closer, or you can, kind of put it in an interesting position to benefit from it.
You mentioned it allows you to prevent an avenue of escape. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. So like, it doesn't like hard prevent an avenue of escape, but if you put it in a specific tile like next to them that's not next to you, it makes it less appealing for them to travel in that direction potentially, because it might allow you to then chase them through the loose coins, which
Yes.
would give you more
Yeah.
resources. Because then you
Uh,
can just play it again.
Definitely. Also, if you initiative onto the loose coins, you've net you gain an initiative from getting it. So you basically got to go there for free,
Right.
and you got to power out of your trouble, um, which is really cool for mixing up ranges with um, Ruffian.
Plus, you get to like live the ruffian dream of just taking all their money.
Yeah,
That's the best thing.
absolutely.
Okay, what's the last card? Oh, we're running out of room.
Well, we
Here we go.
we can we can we can just put it.
Oh,
Oh my
yes.
god.
Sucker Punch. So this is the actual art of the placeholder art. So
Yeah.
this is a very interesting card. It is their -1/+1 attack. So, everyone has a -1/+1 attack, Ruffian included. Deals 4 damage at range 1, which is on the lower end, but that's because it has a very interesting effect. So opponents can't react to the next card you play immediately after Sucker Punch. And Sucker Punch is an attack, which means that the next card you play has combo. So you can Sucker Punch into a Rib Crack, which is a card that they very much don't want to resolve. But if you Sucker Punch into a Rib Crack, they can't respond to it, so they're probably not going to be able to stop whatever is about to happen. You can Sucker Punch into a Lights Out, which they would also really want to respond to, but wouldn't be able to. And it's also important to note that reactions in caps also includes flipping luck tokens. So if you sucker punch someone, they cannot play a card, nor can they flip a luck token in response to your next card. Um, they just cannot do anything, basically. So that can make some very brutal plays as well.
Absolutely. Sucker Punch is also really terrifying because it doesn't slow you, but it also kind of does. And so this is kind of like Enfeeble or Cripple from Sorcerer and Wizard,
Absolutely.
or Sorcerer and Warrior. It's
Yeah.
just another one that you get to play.
Yep. So guys, that is the Ruffian. They are the one of the best characters to play at range 1. They also have some interesting longer range options if you want to tinker with that. Um, if you find yourself facing off against a Ruffian, don't let them get near you. They're very scary when they're up close and personal. They are going to punch you in the gut, knock out your teeth, and steal your lunch money, guys.
Yeah. And coming up next, I believe, is we are going to watch a Ruffian lose to a poacher, I believe.
Yes, yes, we'll
Yes.
see.
For
Uh,
those of you who are unaware, every every reveal so far, the new specialization we've revealed has lost the demo game.
yes. I don't know. We'll see. I think Ruffian might break that trend, but we'll find out.
See,
It,
I like it because it adds a little bit of authenticity that's not, like jobbing it up to make them look so cool. It's just kind of tragic, you know?
it is a little tragic. If you're watching on YouTube, we're gonna have another video up that is the gameplay of the Ruffian, so check that out. If you're here on Twitch with us, thank you, and we're about to start the Ruffian gameplay.